The arrival of a right winger on Tyneside, something which Newcastle United supporters have been wanting for some time now, to give their squad an extra edge. Well, Newcastle have finally ended their search for a right winger, with Nottingham Forest's Anthony Elanga set to join the Magpies for a reported £55 million. Newcastle have been searching for a right winger since the Saudi-backed takeover of 2021. In that time, they've had Miguel Almiron of Paraguay and more recently Jacob Murphy fill in that slot. And Murphy recently, just last season, did very well, scoring a number of goals and also providing a number of goals with lots of assists to his name. But Newcastle have consistently searched for someone young and also proven to come into that role on the right wing. And now it would appear they've got their man in Anthony Elanga. He's a friend to William Osula, Newcastle United's young Danish striker, and of course is a compatriot of Alexander Isak, their talisman up front. So Newcastle finally got their man. Now it seems like the wheels are finally in motion for the club in this transfer window. There'll certainly be more business to come, but let's look first at Anthony Elanga and what he can bring to Newcastle United. Anthony Elanga managed 6 goals in the Premier League for Nottingham Forest, with 5 the year before, with Forest last season qualifying for Europe for the first time in many a year at the City Ground. However, perhaps more impressively, he provided 20 assists in the last 2 seasons and will be a valuable asset to Newcastle United's squad. As a winger, he very much fits the mould of the way that Newcastle United like to play in attack, with plenty of pace to burn and the ability to press high and win the ball back in dangerous areas to ultimately score goals. His arrival will please Eddie Howe, who knew just how important this window was.
I think all summers are massive. It's very difficult to put one ahead of the other, but I think when we haven't been active in the market for so long, in the manner that we want to be active, then there is a danger that you go over a line that the squad weakens because you haven't been doing what you need to do to refresh the group, to challenge the players with new players coming in. I think it's a summer that we have to do that. I know there's that intention throughout the club to do that, and that is the plan. Yeah, speed is key for us, and I've reiterated that many times internally. Speed is key because we have to be dynamic, we have to be ready to conclude things very, very quickly because good players don't hang around for long. That's always been my thought and my message on recruitment, really, because you can have a period where you think you've got time, but then you can look around very quickly and realise that time's elapsed and you've missed opportunities that you won't get again. So that's what we'll be trying. But obviously the reality of that is it's not always in your hands, but we'll be doing our best to do things early. Much easier for me to bring in a ready-made, established, world-class player. But I don't think we've done that since I've been here because we haven't been able to financially. We're not in the position of the other clubs. We have to bring them in and then try and make them that. I don't envisage that changing because of the PSR restraints on us.
Anthony Elanga certainly fits the mould of a Premier League player who is proven in the top flight, but that can be worked on and improved by Eddie Howe as a coach. Eddie Howe will probably be frustrated with the time it's taken to secure him though, but as mentioned, hopefully this will get the ball rolling for transfers in terms of Newcastle this summer. More to come, hopefully, for the Magpies, but for now, this will be a start. Fans are excited at his arrival, and as mentioned, he'll provide competition to Jacob Murphy on the right wing. With Anthony Elanga's deal now all but wrapped up, Newcastle will reportedly turn their attention to bringing in a new striker to St James's Park following the departure of Callum Wilson, who has departed the club at the end of his contract. He scored 49 goals for Newcastle during his time at the club, but now Newcastle needs someone to fill in that gap that he has left with his departure from the club. Alexander Isak can certainly not play every single game that Newcastle will take part in next season, especially given that they will be playing in the Champions League. So Newcastle will need to bring in a forward to deputise for when Isak is out or when he simply needs a rest.